erosion was certainly a problem for early Oklahoma settlers. And today, farmers, municipalities, and environmentalists continue to struggle with the effects of erosion and ways to prevent it. Now, homeowners tend to be somewhat removed from the effects of erosion, but the practices we follow in our landscape can have significant effects on soil erosion. Some of the major effects in a farming situation, soil loss reduces the productivity of those soils. Now, in natural areas, soil loads in the creeks and rivers increase sedimentation, and that impacts water quality for the fish, insects, and other wildlife that use that stream, as well as humans who use the water for irrigation, for drinking water, and also sediment can help increase flooding. So we have a lot of impacts, ecological impacts, that really affect humans. Now, if we look at our landscapes, the two main sources of erosion we see are wind and water, and we can take steps to reduce erosion from our own landscape and prevent it from contributing to problems in our waterways. For wind erosion, what we really want to do is cover the ground, and this might be in the form of mulch, it might be with turf grasses or ornamental plants, but keeping that soil covered will help keep it in place from being blown away. It also helps reduce the effects of water from washing that soil away. Now, slopes can be a particular challenge when it comes to soil erosion. Water moving down slope easily washes soil away into our creeks. One way we can deal with this is by terracing the land like we've done here. And in this application, we're basically cutting into the soil to make, instead of a slope, we're making it an even plane and stepping up with some sort of retaining wall, such as we have here with the stone. So in effect, we're creating a series of different steps that are level so we don't have that slope problem with erosion. Now, this is a little bit of an expensive solution, but we can also work with plant material to stabilize our slopes. Here we have a variety of shrubs and ground covers and low-growing perennials that cover that soil and help stabilize it. Now, in some areas where we're still working to establish plant, we've coupled this with mulch to protect that soil. In your landscape, you want to pay particular attention to trees. We tend to have a lot of bare soil underneath trees because the grass doesn't grow so well. In those areas, look at using different types of plant material and mulches to cover that bare soil. Now, at the far end of our slope, we have another decorative and ornamental solution, and that's the rock garden. The large boulders help to stabilize the soil, and then again we have a nice cover of plantings and some gravel mulch to cover that bare soil. Now, the last consideration that we want to make is how we utilize and manage water in the landscape. Another consideration is how we manage water in the landscape. In many homes, the downspouts from the house empty directly onto a driveway or other hard surface, and these drain right down the driveway into the street, into our storm drains, and these dump out into our creeks and rivers. Now, as that water moves through, it's carrying pollutants such as oils from our roofs and from our driveways into those streams. Now, a great way to manage that water for the landscape is to direct your downspouts either into your garden beds. You can incorporate decorative elements such as a dry creek bed to move that water to an ideal location. You might use a rain garden to hold it if there's ponding issues. And this benefits our streams by reducing the water flow into those and the sediment that it carries, but it also benefits your landscape by recharging this groundwater beneath your soil. Now, another option, of course, is to capture that water into rain barrels or cisterns so that you can use it in the landscape at a later time. Now, these steps might seem small in and of themselves, but together they have a very large impact on soil erosion and preventing specifically soil erosion, and they can really help maintain the health of our streams and rivers. Next time it rains, look around your landscape and see if there's areas where you can do more to prevent soil erosion. Garden Fest is just a week away. Join us Saturday, October 6th from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. here at the Botanic Garden at OSU while we celebrate Art in the Garden. We'll have a day full of activities including educational programs, garden art demonstrations and activities for the whole family. There'll be live music and vendors. We welcome W. Gary Smith, who will give a keynote presentation, Designing Like an Artist, at 10 a.m. in our education building. Be sure to bring out the whole family for a wonderful day of Art in the Garden, Saturday, October 6th. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Next week, we'll continue to look at erosion here in Cow Creek, and we'll look at the restoration project in place to restore that creek bed.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.